Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Happy New Year, guys. Yep, it's been that long and thank you so much for coming back here. And if you're new to this channel, thank you so much for spending some time and just clicking on that video. I really appreciate it. My name is Letabo, and on this channel we shine light on some of Africa's social issues. So please stay tuned and also click on that subscribe button so that we can become a family. In today's video we are talking child marriage in Africa. Yep, I know that we're starting a little bit serious, forgive me, but I think this concept is one of the most disturbing concepts in the whole world, and Africa is said to be leading the numbers. Although child marriage is prevalent across the continent, reports actually show that it is worse in Western and Central Africa, where it is estimated that 4 out of 10 young women aged 20 to 24 were actually married before the age of 18. So if that does not deserve attention, then I don't know what does. Some of African countries with the highest numbers of child marriages are Mali, Cameroon, Kenya, the DRC, Gambia, and Malawi. Poverty seems to be one of the biggest causes of child marriages in Africa, which I find very sad because these young women are forced into marriages with the hope of lifting a burden from their families, really. But these young women are deprived of educational opportunities as well as economic opportunities, which I think in turn bring them back to poverty. But without giving out too much on this topic, please watch a conversation I had with one of my newest friends, Ifeanyi Ofodu Raymond. He is from Nigeria and he's very passionate about eradicating child marriages and female mutilation in Africa. Ifeanyi is actually the chairperson of WaterTasty Africa. WaterTasty Africa is an advocacy group organized by the UNICEF Office to the African Union to end child marriage and female mutilation. They are seated in 10 different countries, fighting to liberate young children from harmful practices. I really hope that you love this conversation and you find it very educational and informative. Let's go. Ifeanyi, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate this. And also, I was so happy when you responded to my Instagram. I wasn't sure if you would be able to respond, but I'm really grateful that you did and that we're doing this. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so we are talking child marriages in Africa. And I do know that you are the chairperson of WaterTasty Africa, and you guys advocate against child marriages. So please just tell me about yourself and tell me about WaterTasty and what the work you guys do.
Thank you so much, my friend Litabo. Like you know, my name is Ifeanyi Ofodu Raymond, and I'm from Nigeria. Actually, when we started our advocacy for child marriage and female genital mutilation, I think it all kick-started in 2020, November 2020, yes. So it is a passionate desire for me to see children and young people grow to the full potential they are meant to be.
Yeah.
Because along the line, I have discovered that people actually get backwards, or countries actually get underdeveloped because their children or their the generation to come is not properly in line. Instead of being in schools, they are being married off, or they are being faced with gender-based violence, and this affects them mentally. So with this, it actually shaped my career life. I'm a youth champion for African Union. I'm a youth champion for UNICEF. I've consulted with different UN agencies like Education Cannot Wait Fund. I've also engaged with different stakeholders in the field of child protection, like Save the Children. I worked with Save the Children on Safe School Declaration, which was an amazing thing to advocate for the total elimination of violence in educational system. So my line is majorly placed on advocacy for children. And people that I work with in WaterTasty Africa, which are amazing people from different parts of Africa. We have people from South Africa, we have people from Cameroon, we have people from Ghana, we have people from Malawi. You know, all of us are just coming together voluntarily. No one is paying us. We are just coming together to keep championing the voice of the voiceless. So this is a little bit much about me and what I do. Thank you so much.
Awesome. I really love that because, you know, the truth is our economy is in the hands of the young people, but most of them do not go to school for different reasons, really. For the fact that some of them do not even have the right sanitary products, and also, like you said, most of them are heading homes, you know, not just those that are married, but also child-headed homes where parents are not there, and it's just so much that is happening. But if we were to equip our young people, truly we would be able to work on our economy, and we would have better countries in Africa. But we're talking child marriage. So please, for those that have never heard the word child marriage or the two words child marriage, would you just explain for them, what does this concept mean really?
Okay, thank you so much again. When we talk about child marriage, to me, what comes to my mind first is abuse. Because when you talk about child marriage is the marriage of a child, or let's say of a person below 18 years.
Yeah.
So when someone is engaged with, let me say, a sexual relationship with somebody else in the aim of being legal, called marriage, and the person is under 18 years, it is regarded as child marriage in international law.
Yeah.
Because why we call it child marriage is that this person has not been grown or have not gathered the capacity of being an adult to decide who and who to have an everlasting relationship with. And when you talk about marriage, you know, marriage is something that is expected to last for very long, just because the way the country or the human race is, people divorce and all that. But the concept of marriage was to create a family, to procreate, to reproduce. So when you put somebody into that line of reproducing that has not even decided whether he or she wants to be a doctor or a lawyer in the future, that is called child marriage. So whenever you hear child marriage, just have in mind that it is a child having a communal relationship with somebody else in order to form a family, and we procreate and reproduce without their consent or without their approval. Because you cannot tell me a child will tell you that I want to get married. It is you that will force that child to get married. The child doesn't even know what marriage is at that time. Even if the child is 16 or 17, he or she doesn't understand the problems in marriage. So you are the one to guide them. So that is what we talk. Whenever we talk about child marriage, that is what should come behind the minds of everybody.
So true, so true. I mean, also young men are forced into child marriages, but I think the young girls are solely, like, they are the ones that, you know, have to deal with this more than anyone else, you know. And you talk about the fact that you as an adult are the one who is guiding or forcing this child into marriage, because they do not know anything. They have never come across issues that come into marriage. They cannot even make the choice, really. And, I think one of the things that is said to cause child marriages in Africa is poverty. But I want you to talk to me about that, to say, do we really, if it is poverty that gets kids into child marriage, does it help them out of poverty? Does it help us as a nation or as a continent out of poverty, just because we force them into marriage because of poverty?
I'm really so happy that you asked me this question, because do you know why? This is exactly the reason why we are underdeveloped. Okay, so now let me give you facts. Okay, so a family marries their child out because of poverty, right? Now they're not marrying this child out to a rich man. They are marrying this child out to a fellow poor man. So now a fellow poor man takes in this child. This child begins to give birth. Now she gives birth to, let's say, 5 or 6 children without the man being able to feed even one of the child. So now the rest of the children are sent out to go and hustle at the age of 5, 10.
Yeah.
So when these children go out to hustle, you see the poverty index is increasing.
Yeah.
Now, if we had 4 people in poverty, now we have 9 in poverty.
So true. So true.
So this is how it increases. So child marriage doesn't bring any benefit to the poverty line of any nation. Rather, it increases, it multiplies, it doubles the problem that people are facing in the grassroots level. When you go to the villages, just observe. You'll see that it's mostly people that have more than 10, 9, 8 children that are always poor.
So
they have a lot of children, but they can't feed any of them. So these children tend to go to the streets. They leave education. They leave their life as a child. They begin to sell pure water. They begin to sell snacks on the road, increasing the poverty index. By the time they get to 30 years, they have no educational background. Now they repeat the same thing their father did. So you see, it becomes a generational kind of thing. So I call it
the
a
cycle
generational
never
curse.
stops.
Yes, I call it a generational curse, because it is nothing good that comes out from it. Rather, it is problem upon problem upon problem. So, my dear friend, I tell you today, child marriage brings nothing but poverty and pain to any community it is happening in.
Ifeanyi, let's talk education, right? Because in everything that you've been saying, you keep saying that these kids do not have any education, because you can't go to school and head home, right? You can't go to school and come back and cook for a husband, really, and, wash for the kids. And these kids are having kids, as you're saying that so many of them, you go to the villages and you find a child, or you find homes that have 9 kids and they living in poverty. How important is education to not just the kids, but the adults, to say, if we bring these kids home and we let them head these homes, then they will not be able to develop themselves. You know what I mean? They will not be able to develop themselves, get educated, and actually get us out of poverty.
Exactly. Thank you again. When you talk about education, you're talking about the future. So I'm going to trace this back to tell you how important education is. Imagine if their parents that sold them out for marriage were educated. They won't ever think of doing that. Because in the field, we have discovered that it is mostly illiterate families that have zero or no educational background that engage in child marriage because they are not qualified enough to understand the benefits of education. So if I don't understand the benefit of education, why do I send my child to school? And when you notice it, you realize that poverty and illiteracy goes in hand in hand. It is mostly those that are poverty, those that are poor, that are in the line of being illiterate because they don't have any educational background to lift themselves to the modern age, to the urban age, so they remain in the grassroots communities and keep practicing the old cultures. They believe that is still right. So you see, education is a very, very important aspect of human race.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about the African context, if we Africans valued education in the 19th and 18th century, by now we would have gotten to the extent of being maybe side by side with America in development. But we're still in the dark ages because we are lacking that resources to uplift ourselves. So education is way, way important. And when you talk about child marriage and education, child marriage rips the child off education. But if the child gets an opportunity to be educated, he or she can fight against child marriage because they know that as a child, I'm meant to be in school, and what I learn in school will help me determine whether I will lift my family out of poverty. So if I don't even get to go to school, I just get to a husband's house, my family is still the same way they are. They are not progressing because nobody is going to help them out. And for you to get a white collar job, you need education. Even for you to be in business, you need some certain IQs, some certain education level. So that is it, my friend.
So true. And, I want to also just talk about, the balance, right? I'm not sure if saying balance is the right word really, but I'm just thinking of a relationship, right, between an adult and a minor. This is a girl who has been brought into a home of an older man. And that just tells me that there is no equality and no freedom to express themselves, right? I'm thinking, I cannot think of a situation whereby, let's say, for example, a young girl can possibly tell an older man, no, I'm tired, I cannot have sexual intercourse, or be able to express herself freely, or be able to even give her opinion on anything. So what do you think are some of the long-term mental damages or even emotional damages to these girls?
Yes, okay. So this is like, when we talk about the balance or the relationship, you are looking at a constant abuse. It is a constant abuse of the child for a very long time. Now, when we talk about constant abuse, marriage is meant to be when a wife has an opinion, it is taken. When an husband has an opinion, it is taken. There is an interaction, there is a communication. So the husband and wife can talk together, they can brainstorm out solutions to their problems and all that. But it's different in child marriage. In child marriage is more of a slave and a master.
Yeah.
So the slave stays and gets instructions from the master. The master gives you instructions, tells you when to have sex with him, tells you what to do, gives you this and this to do, take care of the children. You have no life of your own. You can't even talk in your house.
So true.
So you are literally living in the dark shadows of burden because nobody to communicate. Your husband is not your friend. Your husband is your elder uncle or your father is instead. So how do you even communicate? Then the worst is when you are hurt. you have no right to shout at your husband because
So
you'll be
true.
beaten. You'll be beaten as a child, and you're a child.
So
So
true.
they'll
That
beat
is
you
true.
as a child. So you see that the balance is totally so unequal. It is like this, like it can never be imagined as the same. And
So,
the man can beat this child anytime or any day he pleases. He can rape the child any day or anytime he pleases.
so
Because
true.
why? She has no opinion or say. She's not even so matured enough to even make her own decisions.
So
So these are the things, these are the kind of margins and the balance we see. And it's a terrible one. Everything about child marriage is of negative. It doesn't bring anything good. Thank
yeah.
you. So imagine a girl that was in a case of child marriage and she finally got out with the help of NGOs and people. So when she gets out, she has to reintegrate into the society.
Yeah.
Now, she doesn't remain the same again. She doesn't think the same again. She cannot
So true.
express herself again, even though she's very intelligent, but she has that problem of public speaking. She has that problem of defending herself because she has been constantly in a state of abuse and she has constantly been scared of her own life. So self-esteem matters a lot in the progress of any nation or any individual development. Without self-esteem, I cannot be here talking to you.
So true.
I will be so scared of doing this interview. So you
So
see,
true.
it matters a lot. And I believe that if we can be able to stop this child marriage, we can be able to develop every full potential. This is when you see young girls and boys coming to the studios, coming to the radios, talking about amazing things, creating content that will help the world. But
So,
self-esteem will make you be in your room sleeping because
so
you don't
true.
really want to get to the light. So this is what I have to say.
That is so true. And you talk about how young girls could get out of these out of these marriages with the help of NGOs. And so what I want to know is, how can people get involved? Because it's okay that you are doing it, but we need more people to say this is wrong, and we need to get our young people to be productive and to succeed in life. So how do we get involved? How does someone like me get involved in this?
Yes, you're already involved by holding this interview. that is the first step to take. Youth should get busy with things. There is no more idleness in this world again. Either you are advocating or you are creating solutions. So now you can get involved in speaking out against this mania. You can use your Twitter.
Yeah.
Every day you put something about abuse. Every day you call out perpetrators. If you notice anybody doing such acts, report to the police.
Yeah.
Are the ways that youths can constantly make this a conversation that people must hear. Youths are the voice. Youths are the force. When you talk about youth, you're talking about strength. You're
Yes.
talking about advocacy. You're talking about awareness creation because
Yeah.
youths have the power to keep on pushing and pushing and pushing. We are young bloods. The old people won't do this for us. It is when we understand the problem that we have to find the solution. So
Yeah.
now we are telling you that child marriage is bad. Now, as a youth, it is your responsibility to create awareness,
Yes.
hold abuse, be innovative, look for potential partners that can help you create a thunderclap awareness in your community against child marriage. Look for legislative policies that are supporting total elimination of child marriage in your country. If there are none, you call out. You call out for these policies to be implemented. If there are policies, you fight for these policies to be implemented.
Yeah, definitely.
You tell your local government councils, you tell your government officials, hey, you say that this is the Child Rights Act. Why are you people not implementing it? I am seeing children being abused, but in the legislative arm, you have said that any child below the age of 18 shouldn't get married. But look at what is happening in my community. What are you doing about it? Now you have created an awareness. You have created an advocacy. This is how I started. I never stood for anybody to bring for me what to do. I looked for something to do.
Yeah.
You have to look for something. You have to be an impact creator in your society. You have to give back positivity to your community.
Yeah.
That is the only way we can progress. Because when you look at it, every single body has a responsibility to play. No matter how you are, even if you are disabled, you can be a strong voice. So I believe
true. That is so true.
I believe the youth have a very big role to play in ending this.
So in terms of WaterTasty, I know you guys operate in like 10 countries. How can people in those countries or even outside of those countries be able to get in touch with you and be able to, you know, maybe start in their own countries and join WaterTasty in advocacy?
We have our Twitter page named WaterTasty Africa.
Okay.
When you go on our Twitter, you will see our email address. So as a young person, and in any country you are, if you have questions, if you have anything you want to reach out to us, you can easily email us through our handle in WaterTasty Africa. We're going to respond and be in touch with you, follow you up, tell you, give you materials on how to advocate for continuous sustainability of ending child marriage. So we are open. We are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We are on LinkedIn. We are not on Instagram, but we are on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And we have the name WaterTasty Africa. So you can reach out to us even on Twitter, anywhere. Tell us the problems you are seeing in your country, and we'll definitely try to report it to the agencies in charge of ending child marriage. Yes, thank you.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Ifeanyi. I really do appreciate you spending this time with me and having such an impactful conversation. I really do hope that as you continue to advocate to end child marriages, that we will yield results really, because we need more kids in school, we need more young girls in school, and we need countries that will stand up against child marriages and remember that these are children and they need to be in school and not heading homes or being abused really. I really appreciate you spending this time with me, and I really appreciate the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Letabo, and I'm really grateful for having this conversation, because it is people like you that keep on having this conversation being alive, because we cannot let this conversation die. We need it to keep being alive.
It's so sad that we have come to the end of the video, but thank you so much for tuning in. And please don't forget to like, to leave a comment, and also to subscribe to the channel. I love you so much. Mwah.